All right, on today's episode of Python Papi, we coming to you early because I wanted to share a project I was working on with you. It's not so much a project; it's just I haven't coded anything in a few days, so I decided to put something together just to keep myself occupied while I take notes on the small contracts project that we're working on. Now, again, I found all of these projects online. Let me get it going so we can actually get the project up and running while I explain to you what's going on here. Like I was saying, all of these were separate projects online. So what I did was I took them all and I combined them into one project, and I have them running simultaneously as opposed to apart. Now I know people think that coding is pretty much done away with. There's nothing you really can do with it, but there's plenty of projects online that you can actually tinker around with and actually renew and not renew but actually refactor and put your own spin and twist on it. Like I said, as you can see, this is just geometric shapes that are being formed here, and everything that you see here is going to be separate projects that I found online. What I did was I took all of the projects, I put them together in one long project and have them running continuously. Sounds simple, but it was a lot harder than it actually was. For instance, I had to actually make sure that every shape is going to get spawned after the initial shape is done. So as you can see here, the second shape is printing. Now, when it first started, the shapes were printing right on top of each other, so that was an issue. So I had to fix that. Now, the second issue I was having was after I got the shapes to print one at a time, they were printing out of order or out of zone. So the second shape here was printing off in the corner to the left instead of in the center because it was still accounting for the first shape. So that was throwing everything off. So I had to fix that. And then the second thing I had to fix was the continental, the continuity of it, making sure everything keeps going exactly as it should after each shape is printed. So yeah, as you can see, everything is running smoothly now. Each shape is waiting its turn and it's getting printed right in the center where it should be, and there's no overlapping. And then the last problem I had was the actual looping of it. So initially, I wanted it to loop to make sure that it keeps on going as long as the program is running. And it started off, it went through the first iteration of the loop. But when the second loop started, it actually started printing all of those problems again. So it acted like I didn't solve any of those issues, and then it went right back to the issues when it started the second loop. So I had to refactor the code to make sure that after the initial loop is run, that the second loop starts and it keeps all of the solutions that I put in place to make sure that all of the shapes took its turn and printed what it was supposed to print. Now, like I said, this really didn't have anything to do with any courses or any coursework like that. This is just some coding that I wanted to keep myself occupied with to make sure I keep my skills sharp. And as you can see, this is our second iteration of the same code, and it's doing exactly as it did on the first iteration. So yeah, everything came out good. Like I said, these were all separate codes. They weren't this isn't one code. As you see, every shape was a different code that I had to put together. So I put them all into one code, make sure that they all ran simultaneously and that they all took their turns and they all stayed in the same location that they were supposed to with no overlapping. And then I made sure that that entire code looped itself over and over. Like I said, coding is not dead, and there are plenty of projects you can do up on your own that you can put together. And even if you can't think of any projects, there are plenty of projects out there that you can tinker around with on yourself to refactor and see if you can reorganize them and make a better use of them. Yep. So that's just something I wanted to share with you. Like I said, yeah, I haven't done any coding in a while because I'm taking notes on the small contracts project. So until we start coding in that actual course, I'll probably just do a bunch of little coding projects on the side just to keep myself busy, make sure I keep my skills sharp. But yeah, we will be doing small contracts later on today. But yeah, so stay tuned for that. But for now, this is the Python Poppy. You guys stay Gucci.